all is well is what is coming into our life, whether you feel it or not. The cosmos has it under control. God, universe, however you want to see that. Everything is just fine. Welcome back. This is Carrie, and I am real excited to do 4 weeks of Abraham Hicks. I have a couple of their decks, and I just was like, why don't we just see what Abraham Hicks has to say about our lives and what we're dealing with in the current energies, as well as just play together doing a spiritual overview of the various aspects of our lives. We're a holistic being, but to be able to see ourselves from the observation deck is sometimes very difficult when we feel like we're really in the midst of all the dramas that go on. And what I wanted to do is play with these decks. Although they're not really oracle decks, I have found that just about any system will work with the Soul Life Treasure Hunt system that I created. So it doesn't really matter. I've thrown everything that I can find at this system. It's an open resource type of a idea. And so I've done the Tarot, I've done the Oracle. You've seen me do Lenormand, and I've also done some mindfulness decks in the past. But I don't think I've ever really done so much with the Abraham Hicks cards in this way. So this time, rather than rolling dice, I'm just going to choose a major realm, and we're going to start off with the emotional realm. So in the emotional realm, we have all the 36 aspects of just things like joy and how you deal with faith, and emotionally how you connect to purposes in your life, and hope and oneness and fearlessness, and how you emotionally deal with your ego and your spiritual nature. So right now we're going to focus in on just this one quadrant and play with these decks. Let's try to do some things with the well-being. One of the things that I have always discovered with my soul life journey was finding ways to understand the concepts of alignment. And when we do alignment, I finally found that I am comfortable with the idea of higher self peace, being at peace in the mind, being at peace in my knowing. And it feeds into my heart. And if my heart agrees that my thoughts and what it understands as peace, that's a good start. Well, many times we actually deal with what we need to balance in our life or bring harmony. So if we have peace, love, and harmony all lined up and all in agreement, whatever comes in, whatever goes out, it all just happens fine. It's not a problem with our entire being, the spiritual, the body, and the way that the earth is happening. So if relationships or catastrophic events, whatever it can be that might come into your life, you can still line up with peace, love, and harmony. It's the harmony piece that is causing us so much drama and just feeling off balance. Whew. All right. Are we doing all these? We are doing all of these cards. All is well. There is nothing for me to guard against, and I inhibit no one. We each create our own reality, and it is not my work to control others. Wow. All right. So these are things. Oh, I just placed them this way. Very interesting. Very interesting. I'm going to go with it this way. So we're going to say all is well is what is coming into our life. Whether you feel it or not, all is well. The cosmos has it under control. God, universe, however you want to see that. Everything is just fine. It's natural. This horse, this baby horse, mama horse. I mean, people are still having babies. Life is still going on. and there's still the sun and the stars and the moon and all that. It says babies are beings from non-physical, externally coming forth for the creation of that which they decide. And babies are wanting so much for you to know that all is well. Wow, I love that, because if you think about it, babies are the promise for a future. And in this particular lineup of thought is that we choose to come in, we choose our parents. And don't worry if you're not sure that you feel that way. Just go, okay, that's one angle of thought. I will at least not fight against it. Let's see what else we can learn. So in the way you can have peace is there is nothing for me to guard against. There is nothing for me to guard against. You exist in a place of absolute well-being. Tell yourself that again and again. Know it. Be the evidence of it. Give others reason to believe that all can be well. Ooh, all is well, and let others know that all can be well. I'm loving it. There's nothing to guard against. Just life comes, and it is going to create the storms and the bright days, and there's nothing to guard against that. What would you be able to do anyway? The seasons and cycles come, they go. New birth, old things fall away, pass away, and new restructuring, new integrations, all that comes. So don't guard against it. Change can be very hard for people, but you don't have to resist it. Let it come. But there's just finding your sense of peace with what is how I'm seeing that one. And the outcome is I inhibit no one. We each create our own reality. So as you find vibrational harmony, we'll talk about harmony in a moment, with your desires, you are never inhibiting or preventing anyone else from living what they are creating, but you are controlling and creating your own reality. This is really coming together. These just fell out of the deck, so I'm super happy with the way this is flowing right now. And then we have what we can harmonize to be able to feel all this as an emotional truth for us. Because I can tell you these things, you can tell others these things, but unless it's integrated deeply and within, if you're anything like me, that's a whole nother story. It sounds good in theory. I want it to be true, but do I know it to be true? Those are the things that we need to really play with. So it is here that it says, it is not my work to control others, which ties in to the idea that I don't inhibit anyone, because I can see that in my world, all is well. I recognize that there are things going on universally, cosmically, that I don't have any control over. So I get to play in those realities and allow others to have whatever reality they want to have and how they want to see it. So I don't have to convince anyone that all is well if they don't want to believe that all is well, but I can encourage them that all is well and to start noticing as I am noticing. But then again, let them notice in their own way. So it is not my work to control others. And if you've ever been in the arena of someone trying to control you, trying to tell you that their way of seeing things politically, religiously, economically, philosophically, any of those things, emotionally, that what they think, feel, see, hear, sense, taste, touch is the reality, and you should see it their way as well. Food and drink can be part of that as well. Somebody loves chocolate, they're trying to force chocolate on you. You're going, I either love chocolate or I don't love chocolate. Maybe I don't want chocolate right now. Maybe I like a different kind of chocolate than you like. Those kinds of things may sound silly, but I think you understand what I'm saying. It is important to go, I have my own preferences. I may prefer something different than you, and that's okay. I'm not going to inhibit you. I'm not going to try to control you, deceive those things the way I do, but I will honor myself. And by honoring myself, I'm going to honor you in that. Trying to limit anybody about anything defies the laws of the universe. It cannot be done. And you cannot control others, but you can control and create your own reality. So I mean, as silly as this may sound, let's talk about you're a vanilla person and somebody wants to give you chocolate. You would be more than uh, welcome to go ahead and say, that is not my preference. Give me my freedom as well. So those are just some thoughts for you to take a look at on that. Now, what I'm going to do, these are older decks, so it's kind of fun to pull them out again. Like I said, I bought a bunch of different decks going, does this system, this Soul Life Treasure Hunt, really work with anything? And it does. It does. I flip books. I've pulled things out of paper bags, out of the hat, and created my own little things that I just like, things I wanted to keep in mind. It's really fun. One of the things I'll do is I want to see what's at the heart of the matter for us. I do that intuitively. I shuffle till I feel a little buzz in my being, like that's enough. And then I will search through the deck with my fingers. And this is what we pulled. This is, let's see, flawed premises can attract true unwanted evidence. Oh, remember we were talking about all is well and that people can create their own realities and there's nothing to guard against. Let's see what that was saying here. This was be the evidence of it to give others reason to believe that all can be well. Wow. So flawed premises, the sky is falling and everything's a mess and everything's wrong. And there's just all this, I'm going to call it fear mongering, just people worrying about future and whether or not they are strong enough to be able to make it financially, ecologically, all of those things. Where are we at in our faith that all is well? And I have nothing to fight and resist because what's going to happen will happen. And it's not my work to control anyone else. And I'm not going to inhibit anyone, but I am going to go for my preferred reality, my preferred style of living my life, my preferred tastes, sound, touch, things that bring me emotional connection and joy in my life, that you can attract real evidences that are more in line with what you would love to. Let's see what this says. If you were to hear a false premise again and again until you yourself began to believe and repeat it, now your own activation of the contrary vibration would interfere with your sense of intelligence, and you would begin to attract evidence of your belief, in effect, proving the false premise to be true. And so it becomes increasingly hard for you to call this a false premise when the evidence seems to be telling you that it is true, for over time you come to believe it is true. This is interesting at the heart of the matter. What are you telling yourself that is unhelpful, hurting your emotional sense of joy, trusting that all is well and that we each create our own reality and that there's nothing for you to guard against? And it's not your job, not your work to control anybody else. Can you step aside? Can you step back from those beliefs? And I would suggest journaling, finding out, here's a belief I have. The country is blank. My life is blank. My finances, blank. My health, my relationships, my whatever it might be. Just go through all those questions, all those major areas, and see what kind of thoughts and beliefs you're holding. Then go back through and say, is this a belief that I want to be true? Can it possibly be flawed in some way? Is it a true thing for everyone in every station of life, that this is true for all of us? And it may be that you'll start to go, well, I do see some people, but they're cheating, or they had a special trust fund, or they live in a different country, those types of things. Are there exceptions to the rule that you've written down, all these things that are supposedly your reality, what's true for you? And then start to work within how you can change your mindset. That is our reading on emotions today and how you can play with the ideas of how to bring your sense of peace, love, and harmony into practice. So look for those flawed premises that you've been living with all these years, maybe been taught. Can you give it up and look more objectively? Can you get the top view from a spiritual viewpoint where there's like all is well? Anyone can think those things, even if they're flawed, but are they true? And that's where you get to put the spotlight on those things and not worry about guarding against anything and not trying to control anyone else. You want your heart to be secure, happy, joyful. All right, if you have any questions, let me know. If you would like to discuss that further, also reach out, let me know. I have my links in the descriptions, and I just send you with great love. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you next time.